Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and we are going to do another class build. I don't know why it took me so long to get back to these, but here we go. First things first, we have managed to roll, not piano, but classic. Secondly, we are going to be taking on the role of the ranger. Now, I don't know how many of you are super familiar with what exactly the ranger does, but rangers kind of come in especially since 5th edition, rangers come in multiple flavors. I mean, I guess that's true of most classes, but hear me out, my story gets better. Rangers tend to have a very, I suppose, determined set. I don't even want to say determined set of abilities, but they have some very familiar abilities in that they tend to be characters that are in tune with nature in some way or another. In a respect, they're a lot like druids, just a little different. Especially in the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, they are a class that comes in a series of a series of archetypes. I was about to say multitypes, and that doesn't mean a damn thing. But they come in archetypes known as Ranger Conclaves, and the one that I'm going to be doing today kind of plays off of that a little bit. We're going to be a Swarm Master. So what that essentially means is that they have a swarm of small creatures that's just kind of around them at all times, and they can use that for, whatever. Now, in this case, I'm also using the idea that rangers tend to have, like, a pet, or I wouldn't even want to call it a familiar, because that's not entirely what it is. It's just a pet. And depending on what it is, you can get some very interesting results out of that. I was thinking about using frozen bait for that purpose, but that seems like it might be going a little far. Unless your ranger really digs aquatic environments, and yes, that can be a thing, I think it's better to go with birds. Plus, that represents me a little bit better, so hey. But spells that look and act very similar to druid spells are far from being off the table. Like I said, they're very much nature-based characters. Most rangers have kind of like a home terrain that they know about. They know how to sneak in and around that terrain, move within it without having serious penalties levied against them. They are characters that are very much at home in the natural environment. And because of that, they tend to get bonuses and abilities that are catered to that. Now, the other thing that rangers are known for is their fighting style. Now, this is still a thing in 5th edition, although it's more so just a choice you can make and not something that you get given to you. But rangers tend to be good at one of two things. Archery, long-distance fighting, of course, with a bow and arrow, or two-weapon fighting, which is fighting with two weapons. Oh my god, Dark Sage, how did you come up with that insightful enlightenment? It's just what I do, you can thank me later. But because of that, a lot of what we can choose for the ranger ends up falling into the kind of... I suppose the best way to put it is, if you're looking at range anyway, you get the range and animals, you get kind of limited choices. Which, of course, that's the idea, so I don't even know why I said that. But, yeah, if we want... We can go with the dragons to help push enemies away from us. The burbs, because the burbs. Then I suppose we can kind of go somewhere in between the... Yeah, we can go somewhere in between the ranged and the 2-weapon with Fire Yo-Yo. And we'll give ourselves just a little bit of enemy misdirection with that. And I think the relic is a fine starting relic. Oh, look at that. We don't even have to try. Boom, thank you. Alright, so... well, where would be the best place for us to start? Honestly, I think the best place for us to start is Zeal. You know, take on Our Lady of the Golden Blonde Flame. If I can... come on. Everything else is being nice to me, except for my brain. You can at least try to be nice to me, Malind. This shouldn't take so long. Oops. Hey, talk to my twin brother. He's a little chill. He can be a little chilly, though. He's not good with interactions. There we go. And okay, cool. We don't even have to look at Atlas this time around. So in earlier editions of Dungeons and Dragons, the Ranger was a sort of fighter class, and a lot of that was maintained in later editions. And again, looking at 5th, because that's the most current edition. That is maintained by the idea that they do get that fighting style choice. Oh, hey, look at this. Suppose we'll grab that. Okay, getting tired of you guys. God, it's like they barely took any damage at all from any of my previous spells. Oh, look at all these things that really have nothing to do with what I'm doing. So, Mock Stunner might be about the best thing there is here. I typically don't see Rangers as using a lot of fire-based spells, but there's nothing saying that they can't. It's just, you know, when you're supposed to be nature's ally, I tend to look away from fire because you're supposed to be defending nature, not burning it down. But hey, even druids can get some fire-based spells. So, I mean, Explosive Charge isn't off the table, it's just not exactly what I'm going for, because we're supposed to be working with kind of an archery-style build. Which is why I'm looking at Spark Array, but it's not going to be super great against the twins, so do I really want to take it? I kind of want to take Breaking Twister, actually. You kiss my ass, Lancer. Now, why? Okay, why is my controller not doing what I'm asking it to do? Hey, maybe I'm just really bad at the game. Okay, kind of getting beat up a little too hard now. You know, I'm also going to grab that, just in case I find the Crimson Clover. There's a part of me that's thinking that's not going to happen, though. Let's switch this over here. Oh, come on. Can things, die now? You know what? That'll probably help us find the Crimson Clover. Because the only other thing I'm interested in is Seville, and that can pop up whenever. I can just drop the Token of Doom, should I find the Crimson Clover. Now, interestingly, as far as Rangers are concerned, it's one of the classes that I don't play very often when I design a new character. I just kinda never think about it. And it's not really for any particular reason, when I design new characters, I tend not to think about the Ranger. I'm not even going to say that it's because there's nothing there that piques my interest, especially when you look at some of the Ranger conclaves that have been available as 5th edition as expanded. You get things like the Gloomstalker and the Beastmaster. Things that actually would hold my interest. I've just never done it. Well, I'm not going to say never, but I rarely do it. And nowadays, when you play Rangers, people just automatically go Archer because, oh, Ranger, they must be using a bow. Like, what, just because the word range is in the name of the class doesn't necessarily mean they're automatically a ranged fighter. Sylvan Help, I love it. Ancient Fountain Pen, I love it. Now, in the case of this particular Ranger, yes, definitely a ranged fighter. Now, in other role-playing games, using Final Fantasy as the example, yeah, they tend to fight from range, but that doesn't mean that they're strictly ranged fighters. That's just kind of where they got their niche. But the thing that makes the Rangers stand out is more so their connection to nature. Like, to the point where where a particularly popular idea of multiclassing is Ranger Druid, just because they do it. And it's because they have very similar ideals. Like, to the point where if you look through one of the, like, older guides to, like, the deities of the Forgotten Realms, like, one of them actually just flat out has Rangers as one of their specialized priest classes. Yeah, I don't appreciate getting beat up so much. And actually, because I want to keep enemies at range, Furious Tempest would have been a fine choice. But I didn't exactly make enough money for that. Alright. Not bad so far. Now, I would like something fire-based aside from my basic to go into the fight with Shu with, but if I can't get it, I can't get it. Take it for now, but definitely replace it later. So I suppose all of that is to say, talking about how Rangers are depicted in other role-playing games, that ultimately the... Oops. That was not what was supposed to happen there. What are you? Flak Gauntlet, what do you do? I don't even have a melee basic. We'll take this because that is a critical hit chance improvement. Oh, hello. Definitely want that. So ultimately, what are my thoughts on Rangers? Oh, I'm fine with them. I have no issue with Rangers. Actually, I find Rangers to be very interesting. Because most of their combat abilities are based around the sorts of things that you would see from fighters anyway, it's kind of hard to... a lot of people have a hard time separating the two out from one another. And that makes sense, but at least until you start considering the idea that Rangers get kind of like a hodgepodge of abilities. Like abilities that make them feel like a jack of all trades ability, or class, I should say. I actually have a generalized like of what I have here. I think I am going to drop that because it has no use to me. We're going to take the tiny crocodile heart, though. Go away. Okay. I see this that I like. We take this. I don't usually associate Rangers with shields, so, you know, not taking a shield. It's not because I hate shields, I just don't really see it for a Ranger. I really don't. And again, when you think of a Ranger, you think multiple weapons, you think animal companions. Or, because of more recent depictions, you think, you know, guy with a bow and arrow. But very few depictions of... very few depictions of Rangers use shields. And that's mostly because they rely on, you know, their tracking ability, their hunting ability, things that bring them a little bit closer to nature. Now, in case you're wondering why I'm not talking about, you know, who the character is that I've created, it's because I'm having a hard time thinking of a good name for him. But we definitely have... I definitely have other things. We have, let's say, you know, for argument's sake, we have an elven ranger, a swarm keeper who really likes taking care of and working with birds, go figure. This is someone who knows his home, who knows the woods that are his home like the back of his hand. But because he's got this connection with nature, it's probably not just the woods. How did I manage to miss that path? Like, so completely. The legends, of course, say that between the birds and the guy himself, there are no better trackers or hunters in all the land. Not evidenced, of course, by my own playstyle, but you get the idea. So my big issue with taking this right now is that I don't necessarily want to have to collect all of my upgraded Arcana again, especially knowing what Iris is like. And this, I mean, I could grab that, but I mean, I'm still looking for the other half of the perfect time crystal, and you see how I'm doing with that. Grab that. Make ourselves feel a little better. You know, if I end up carrying this Token of Doom through the whole run and not seeing the Crimson Clover, I'm going to be a little upset. Prepare to be upset, Darksage, I know. That's not gonna help. Away with you! I so rarely get to use Breaking Twister to its full extent. This feels great. Now, my real question is, why would an elf who's so well established in his own home become an adventurer? Oh, there's the perfect time crystal, by the way. Also, this seems like it would be a perfect find, considering that much of my kit is air-based. I'm just not sure what I would want to drop. And no, we don't get rid of that. You're joking, right? You think I would actually do that? To our fine and fair Sylvan friends? Okay, perfect time crystal's making a world of difference. Okay, come on. Stop with that now. Oh, there's nothing here I want. Like, I don't think I even have enough time to recollect all of them. All of my upgraded Arcana. That's like another good reason to... It's another good reason not to pick that up, if you ask me. Like, since I'm kind of designing a character on the fly, why would someone who's well established in his own home become an adventurer? Like, I can only come up with, just off the top of my head, maybe the reason why this person chose to become an adventurer is because something happened that ruined their reputation, and a big part of what they're doing is trying to reestablish, you know, who they are and... you know, reestablish their good name. Now, if this were one of my games, that wouldn't be the end of it. There would be, you know, further intrigue that would make the guy go, wait a minute, I can't just stop here. Something is going on. There's craziness afoot, and I can't... And I don't foresee this ending well if I don't stay my path. Okay. We're doing that. Interesting, but no. Alright, we've got one more floor to find the Crimson Clover. And we've been doing fine without it, but it's the principle of the thing at this point. That was not smart. I can't even blame that on playing Astral Ascent. That just wasn't smart. And again, there's nothing here that I really want aside from a health potion. And I almost forgot about the most important part about playing a character with a pet. The pet's name. I don't even have a name for the elf. I don't want to give him like a human name because obviously elven names sound so much different. Like elves are a race that's supposed to have a command of linguistics, like, their language is supposed to sound beautiful and authentic. Okay, getting sick of you guys. So I look at that, and at the elves' mastery of linguistics and how their language is supposed to sound beautiful and almost otherworldly at times, and I can't look at that and then design an elven character whose name is Jeff. Alright, I am now officially disappointed. I mean, this is a roguelite. I guess I couldn't play this game as much as I have, or any roguelite for that matter, and not expect to be a little disappointed when I don't get what I'm looking for, but... You know, I think I'm good with what I have. Well, no, Darkseid, you could. No, I couldn't. Recommend such a thing, and I will discard you from my life! Okay. Dodge button isn't working right. Okay, well, I mean, I didn't exactly have a lot of choice there. That's the second time they've dodged my freaking bird. Yeah, that's what you get. You know what? No, we'll just do this the hard way. Alright, anything that we want last minute? I mean, I could have stood to have you earlier. Probably don't even need it now. Very nice. What have you done to my birds, you horrible person? There we go. Now that's elf and bird working well together. And no, I still don't have a name for them, but here's what I'm going to do. I am going to find a good name for both the elf and the bird, and I will put them on the thumbnail. So that way, when you go to look at the thumbnail of this video, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about until right now. That makes sense? Good, I'm glad we're all on the same page. Alright, but that's going to do it for this Ranger-themed run of Wizard of Legend. I hope you guys had a wonderful time watching it. I hope you are all having a fantastic day or night wherever you may happen to be. As per usual, like, comment, subscribe, the important stuff, and, ring the bell and share the video, of course, somewhat important, but, you know what, I'm an old-school YouTuber, what can I say? And I will see you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and take care, everybody.